Hey guys, it's Anya the illustration girl here. Welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to be showing you 3 different ways you can use masks in Adobe Fresco. And by the way, just a little reminder that if you like this video, then make sure you follow my channel for weekly Adobe Fresco and illustration tips. I use layer masks a lot in my illustration work. So the image of a plant pot that you see on your left is basically all made out of masks, clipping masks, lock transparency and layer masks as well. And today I'm going to show you the difference between the 3 and when is the best time to use all of these different tools. In my illustration process, I usually start by making a sketch and then filling the shape with just one color, using my favorite brushes. And the whole idea of using a mask is that you want to make a shape and then you want to add something extra to this shape. Maybe it's texture or maybe it's a shadow. But you want that shadow or color to stay inside the area that you just drawn. And well, the easiest tool to achieve this is called lock transparency. So you literally just click on the layer and click lock transparency, and everything that you paint or draw is going to end up inside the layer that you have just painted. This method is easy, but there are a few problems with it. Number one is it's really hard to edit it. The only thing you can do is undo it if you make a mistake. And also, if I'm using a mixer brush, for example, it will start mixing with the color that I've already put down, and sometimes it's just not the effect that I'm trying to achieve, because I like overlaying different textures on top of each other. Luckily, there is a new way that you can mask in Adobe Fresco, and it's called a clipping mask. I think that a clipping mask is much easier to understand than a layer mask, and I'm just going to demonstrate to you how it works. What I'm going to do is make a new layer and then draw on that layer with a different color. And all I need to do next is to clip this symbol, and you will see that basically what happens is the area gets cut by whatever shape is underneath the layer. And a really cool thing about using this method in comparison to lock transparency is that you can change blending modes, you can change the opacity, and you can even keep adding more and more clipping masks, just adding new layers and clipping them and doing the same thing. So you can just keep adding different textures. And you can also change the order of these layers, and you can create a really interesting layered textured image with loads and loads and loads of different details. I think this is a really cool tool and I use it all the time. By the way, if by this time you're wondering what is this accent she's speaking in, it's a Russian accent, and I'm actually from Russia originally, but I live in the UK now. And guess what? I just launched a Patreon page today where I will post some extra tutorials and in-depth tips. So if you're interested, just check it out after you finish watching this tutorial. And now let's talk about layer masks. Layer masks is probably the most complex option out of these 3. So go ahead and just click make layer mask. You will see that the area around the area you've painted turns red, and everything in red is your mask, and everything that you see is the area where you can draw and paint, and it will just keep within the boundaries of this shape. First thing I'm going to show you is that you can actually edit your mask. And this is something you can't do with a clipping mask. So this is number 1 difference between those 2. You can just click on any brush you like, and you can choose at the bottom there whether you want to hide or reveal. And in my case, I want to reveal, so I'm basically erasing a bit of the area that I've already painted. And this gives you just much more flexibility over what you are masking. Now, once you swipe from the mask to the layer, you won't see the mask anymore, but it is actually there. And what you can do is copy your mask and paste it onto a new layer. This is something I use in my own work. I do it all the time, and I just like the flexibility that this option gives you. So we place a mask, and although the layer looks completely empty, whatever you're going to draw right now is going to go into the shape that you have just created. That's really cool, right? And you might think, well, this is just like clipping mask, but actually look, you can move your painting within the area of the mask. So you can even like change your drawing, and you just have so many options here. Now, if you click link mask, you will now not be able to move the texture inside the mask, but you will be able to move the entire thing. And the cool thing is you can put it underneath your layer. This is number 2 thing that you can't do with a clipping mask, because clipping mask stays on top of the layer. But here, look, you can move it, you can link and unlink the mask, you can transform the painting inside the mask and the mask itself, and you can erase parts of the mask. So this makes your workflow really flexible, and it means that when you're working professionally, you can go back and change every little detail of your illustration easily. It just saves you so much stress knowing that you can go back and change your sketch or drawing anytime. And also, of course, you can use blending modes, and you can play around with different filters and, you know, work with your image this way too. So this is basically what I wanted to tell you about clipping masks today. If you like my content, then do subscribe, because I'm posting new videos every Wednesday now. And as I said, do check out my Patreon page, where I'm posting more in-depth tutorials, and you can get loads of other nice things like prints and one-to-one consultations with me. But for now, bye bye and see you next week. Thanks for watching.